Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Enterprise Monkey Show. You're with your hosts, Brandon Burns and Amir Kutub. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Today's got a great episode and content in store for those of you listening and watching on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, and the like. Don't forget to rate and review us, and thanks so much for coming back and joining us. Today's topic is how do you successfully and effectively research your app, your industry, and your competitors. So today's episode is all about how do I get to a point of feeling confident that my app and my idea has been researched enough for me to press the go button and start building and making it come to life. So Amir, maybe I'll throw to you, and obviously I've prefaced this with how to research, how to check out your competitors, how to know if it's being done already. And I have a feeling that you're going to suggest something slightly different, but I'm sure it'll help with answering that question. So, Amir, tell me, what's the first step?
So I think the first step is to actually, even when you are thinking of an app,
Yes.
as a startup, you are thinking of solving a problem. So the first step is to actually validate that problem.
Yes.
So you need to validate that problem in terms of whether that problem actually exists or not. So, and you validate that problem by asking people around, the people you think that would have the problem. And once you have validated that problem, you try to look in online. For example, in terms of app, you look at the app store as well as the websites and see if there's someone else who is trying to solve the problem.
Yes.
Now, you might find that there are different people who are trying to solve that problem through that particular application. For example, if you think that easy accounting is a problem, and you might be thinking of developing an easy app for accounting purposes. When you do a bit of search, you might find there are 3 different companies that are trying to solve this problem already. So don't be disappointed by that. That actually validates that problem, that there are other people who are thinking about this problem. What you need to do from there is evaluate in terms of the solution. So you might be thinking of an app, and you might be thinking of it having specific features that will actually solve that problem. So what you need to think is you really need to evaluate other apps that exist and see whether those app has got the similar features or not.
Okay, so that's a good point, but I have an app idea. I know that potentially there might be others out there. So how do I effectively search? Do I go to Google and search for car sharing apps, or do I go to the App Store and search ride sharing apps? Like, how do I know that I've actually left no stone unturned? How do I know that I've found everything that may or may not exist?
Yeah. So even before you start searching, that's why I sort of emphasize really on the lean canvas or the business model canvas.
Yes.
You really need to fill it for your idea. It's very simple in terms of who your customers are, what problem you're trying to solve, what is your proposed solution.
Yes.
And that's when you start searching. You start searching for example, if you feel that hiring a car is a problem, you start searching and see if there are any car hire apps available. So you do a Google search and say car hire app, but then you search on the App Store, which is car hire, and you search it on the Play Store as well.
Okay.
There's,
That's important. Yep. Keep going.
Yep. There's another way of doing it as well. So Google provides a service called Google AdSense. So if you search Google AdSense keyword planner,
Okay.
you will find
Google AdSense
keyword planner.
keyword planner.
Yeah.
All right.
So we'll also provide the link for that in the video and the podcast. But if you go on that tool, you can actually type something like, for example, if you type car hire,
Yes.
it will come up with different keywords that people are searching for that particular thing. That will, number one, validate your problem and need that people are searching for this, but will also provide you the right keywords to search the applications by.
Okay.
Yep.
So what you're saying is look for the most prominent potential competitors.
Yep.
And then download their apps and actually experience whether they're delivering a similar product to you and whether they're delivering a good user experience.
Absolutely.
So you want to look for, is someone doing the exact same thing as you?
Yep.
And is someone doing a good job of it?
Yep.
And if the answer is no to at least one of those questions, then it's safe to press on.
But also, it's important to understand how those apps are actually performing on the App Store or Play Store, or how those websites are performing.
Yeah?
Because,
How do you do that?
So you can actually see the number of reviews on App Store. You can't see the number of downloads. But by just seeing the number of reviews, you get an idea of, okay, if there are 500 reviews, at least 500,000 people would be using it. But if the app has got only one review or two review, there might be very less people using it. So you can sort of look at the app features and the experience and see whether there are any reviews and whether those reviews are good or bad. And then you can understand that this app is performing well and this has got these features, which means these features would be important for the people as well. So you can learn a lot by looking at those applications, their user experience, but how customers are responding to that as well.
Okay, all right. So looking at the engagement of a competitor app is important. What else should you do when you're researching your industry? And what I mean by that is, how do you validate that you're actually trying to come up with a solution to a problem in an industry that's big enough to sustain your new app? You know, an industry that has enough of a burning desire and a need for a product like yours. How do you answer that question?
Right. I think one of the very easy way to do it is, especially, so the question that you need to ask yourself is, the problem that you are trying to solve, do the people know that they have that problem or not? So if the people don't know that they have the problem or not, they wouldn't be searching for it online. For example, Steve Jobs was trying to solve the problem of smartphones by creating Apple. At that point of time, we the people didn't know that we are trying to solve the problem. Now, this is a very specific type and very risky type of startup. Most of the times, you are trying to solve a problem that people know that they have got that particular problem. And if people have that problem, they would be searching for it on the internet. So if people need a car hire service, they would be searching for it on the internet, and you can go on the Google Keyword Planner and see how many searches are related to that problem. So for example, if you think you are trying to solve child safety in schools, just try and search that keyword on Google and put that keyword on the Google Keyword Planner and see how many people are actually searching for that particular problem.
Yes. Okay, excellent. Okay, awesome. All right, so we've covered off how to work out if you've done enough research to understand whether competitors exist. We've also done enough work to realise whether an industry has a need for your app and that problem to be solved. What else would you recommend to someone when embarking upon building an app and trying to understand if they've covered off all their market research? So are there things like size of industry, or are there things to look at the behaviour in which people engage with other similar apps, as far as do they pay to download them? Or is it the type of app where people would pay monthly to subscribe? You know, what other things should people look at when doing their market research?
So I think it's good thing to do a desk research, but there's a limited level of desk research that you can do. But what you can really do to validate your app idea or the problem that you're trying to solve is actually by putting it out and testing the concept in the market. And a lot of people do it by just creating landing pages of the concept that they are trying to sell. For example, if you want to create a library for all the resources for, say, for plumbers, like a university for plumbers, you don't need to go and build the whole application. What you can do is you can develop a very simple landing page, a simple one-page website on something as simple as Wix, and sort of put a call to action over there and see how many people react to it. And then to assess how you are going to market it, you can actually set up a Google AdWords or a bit of Facebook ads for $10 or $20 and see how much traffic are you getting on your website and how many people are actually signing to it. So you're not spending any money to develop anything in the back end. What you're doing is you're just putting up a landing page, a shopfront out there, and see how many people are actually being attracted to it. And you're spending, say, $100, $200 to $500 in running a bit of Google AdWords or Facebook AdWords to see whether people are really attracted to it or not. And this will eliminate a lot of unknowns from the equation.
Okay, great. So if people want to find out more about how you can do that, we can definitely help you, because setting up a landing page and testing traffic to see if there's demand for a product sounds like an amazing way to understand if your product has legs.
Absolutely.
Obviously, another step from that could be that you could go to designing prototypes.
That's right.
So you could design what the app might look and feel like on a smartphone, on a tablet, and so you can show people the user experience. That's another way to test it. But I think what's come out of this is that it's really important to do your research, but not be overwhelmed. I hope that we've outlined a few ways that you can easily and confidently feel like you've covered all bases before you go and embark upon building your app, but not to be overwhelmed, not to be daunted by the fact that, yes, there are going to be people out there that exist,
Yeah.
and do something similar, if not the same as you.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean you can't do it better.
Yeah, just to touch on the point that you talked about developing the prototypes or the design, I believe, especially when your application has got specific channel partners or big companies that are going to use or endorse your application. For example, if your app relies on endorsement by a government organization or an industry association, or if you're going out to restaurants or companies to sell your solution, before
Yes.
developing that solution, what you can do is you can develop the prototypes. So prototypes are the design of your application, and they can be clickable, so people can sort of click on them and sort of go to the next screen.
Yep.
And you can show it to them while you talk to them about it. So instead
Yes.
of just asking, suppose if I develop an application that would solve X, Y, Z of your problem, you actually say, I'm trying to build an application that would work like this. You click here, you click here, you click here. What do you think about this?
Yes.
You'll get a better feedback, you'll get a better validation, and you'll have much better opportunities of getting investment through it as well.
Great. All right. Well, I hope that's helped everyone listening and watching with how to do your market research and do it comprehensively. We can certainly help with that. We wish you all the best on your startup journey. And if you'd like more information, we'll share it with you after the podcast in the links. But for now, thanks for joining Amir Khattab and myself, Brandon Burns, here at Enterprise Monkey, and see you all in the next episode.
See you later.